Instead of snacking in the middle of the day because you're anxious, there are a few things you can do to reduce your stress. Anxiety eating can stop with just a few simple tips. Be sure to watch the video in its entirety to find out how a small adjustment can drop your stress levels and stop you from eating. Here are the best tips to reduce stress. Don't overeat, do this. Aim for balance. It's not the carrots and the broccoli that people tend to go for when they're stressed. It's anything packaged with sugar or fat. You're probably not likely to overdo it on something like grilled chicken breast. Sugary and fat-filled choices can numb emotions, but they also spike your blood sugar before sending it back to the trenches. Then you can feel hungry all over again, and you're on a collision course with more stress eating. Instead of Oreos and potato chips, aim for a balance of protein and fiber, since they are digested more slowly for more of a sustained, gradual increase and decrease in blood sugar. Because snacks like crackers can be a trigger for some people, causing them to devour an entire box, try other sources of carbs like berries and melon. Pair them with hard-boiled eggs, low-fat Greek yogurt, or cottage cheese for protein. Lay out a game plan to reduce stress and anxiety levels. Everyone is familiar with feeling anxious. Some feel it more often than others, but in the end, every individual has experienced anxiety. But what most people don't know is that anxiety is just a response to stress. What happens is that your body, both physically and psychologically, acts as if there was a threat each time you start to feel stressed. This defense mechanism will most likely make your body release self-protective measures. One of these self-protective behaviors can be anxiety eating, which will trick you into thinking that you're managing the stress. This will probably make you feel better, but only temporarily. To fight off anxiety eating, it's important to think of a plan for stress decrease that you'll apply every day religiously. Everyone deals with stress differently. Some do it through exercise, therapy, breathing techniques, or meditation. But it's important to find the stress reduction methods that work for you. Practice this each day or week. It all depends on the hardiness of your anxiety. This will definitely help you to relieve stress. A conscious awareness to apply this will reduce anxiety levels for sure. If you do this right, the eating linked to these feelings could be calmed as well. Use the Take 5 approach. It can be hard to take a step back before you indulge in a stress and anxiety binge, but if you just pause for 5 or 10 minutes, you can give yourself some time to analyze what's going on. Check in with yourself at that moment. What are you feeling like? What exactly happened in your day? What is troubling your mind right now? A small pause can allow you to make a different decision. This tactic is very simple to do. You can decide with anticipation that you're all clear to eat after those 5 minutes end. This is because, in the majority of cases, after 5 or 10 minutes, you've gotten plenty of awareness to switch decisions and opt for a healthier option. However, you're not printing any rules you may not be able to follow later on, which can take you into a dark downward spiral of sadness and guilt. Keep a food diary. While you may just believe, I snack only when I'm anxious, there is a chance that there is more to dig into when it comes to the reason behind these actions. A great way to follow yourself closely is to have a food diary. Try to write down what happens after a situation of stress eating. What were you thinking before it happened? Who were you with at that moment? What place, emotional state, or sensations were a part of the episode? You may realize that a specific feeling, a past trauma, or a current set of situations are releasing these behaviors of anxiety eating. With this awareness comes the power to take back self-control and move forward. Eat at appropriate times. The more days you go without having food, the more likely you are to overeat later. Doesn't matter if you're anxious or not. You've had a long, stressful day, you're hungry, and you're likely to overeat. It's the perfect cure. Rather than overfilling yourself with one meal, try to have the necessary meals and healthy snacks every 3 to 4 hours. Eating every day like this will help you regulate your portion intake and limit the need to eat out of stress. The ideal thing is to be satisfied and not to turn to food. Be sure to eat in a healthy environment. This means not having dinner in front of the TV or your iPad. Instead, try finishing your food at the kitchen table, or somewhere better, in the dining room, where you're far from the fridge full of snacks. Some alternative ways to make sure your eating place is healthy and not damaging is putting the food back after you've served some on your plate. This will reduce the trips back for seconds and thirds. And don't keep the food where you'll be tempted. If you have a bag of chips and cookies in a convenient place when you walk by, you're going to grab them if you're in a state of anxious eating. This tip is well connected to the next one. Go the other way. If you're feeling anxious, don't pass by your favorite junk food restaurant on your drive home. It's essential to switch your mentality toward non-eating habits of relaxing. This strategy can sometimes help travel to your home differently. Experts once worked with one woman who used to binge when she walked through the kitchen to take her dog out in the middle of the night. After a few days, they suggested her patient go out the back door instead of the front, so she could avoid the kitchen. And this made a huge difference. Be mindful. Recent research published suggested that a daily habit of mindfulness could lower anxious eating in people whose stress levels are always high. This is because thinking too much is a one-way ticket to anxiety, and being mindful is the complete opposite. In this study, a group of people meditated for 45 minutes a day almost every day of the week, and went through other mindfulness practices, like having one meal a day in this state. Use the HALT method, and note if you are hungry, angry, lonely, or tired, to assess whether you're eating out of necessity or due to your emotions. HALT stands for hungry, angry, lonely, and tired. HALT can serve as a reminder to all of us that we need to take care of our basic needs every day. Honestly, assessing how you feel takes only a minute. Doing so will make the everyday stress of life easier to deal with and help you maintain healthy eating habits. Take a probiotic. 10 studies conducted indicate probiotics may help alleviate symptoms of depression among people with depressive and anxiety problems. Even though researchers agreed that they need more research to talk about probiotics as a therapy for anxiety, a doctor can aid you in deciding whether a probiotic is a right and safe choice for you. Practice self-compassion. If anxiety after eating may be linked to guilt or personal expectations, applying self-compassion can go a long way. Self-compassion is the ability to forgive and not be hard on yourself, instead of being self-critical or harmful about food behavior. And yes, this can be easier to say than to do, but experts say it's worth a try. Psychology is a real thing. Seek help from a mental health professional. Even if your primary care doctor can allow you to analyze any physical problems contributing to anxious eating, some issues may also need the abilities of a mental health professional. Treating these mental health situations is one of the best methods to control and relieve anxiety signs. Remember, you're not on your own if you experience this type of anxiety and stress. Anxiety eating issues, normal anxiety disorders, and other mental health problems can be potential contributors to post-meal anxiousness. What you're experiencing and why you're experiencing it is unique to you. You may be scared about fulfilling obligations, stressed about your food, or have a food allergy you don't know about yet. Developing breathing and meditation skills, along with food journaling habits, can help control symptoms while you go through food-related anxiety. Drop a comment on your way out with the method you think works best for you. See you next time.